What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we had RFK Jr.'s confirmation nomination hearing this afternoon. Oh, and there were some sparks, there were some fireworks, and I got a couple of video clips for you guys. I'm going to show you guys just the scumbaggery of Senate Democrats, right? Like, all senators, to be honest with you, they borderline scumbags. Even the ones I like the ones that are okay, they're kind of, I don't care for senators all that much, in case you haven't noticed, Republicans and Democrats alike. But the Democrats, they just don't care at all. Like, you can tell by the questions that they ask, they do not care about the health and about the health of the country, for crying out loud. I know I had trouble saying that, had trouble getting it out, but they don't care about the health and wealth of this nation through the questions they ask, and it's just scumbaggery on just top of being pricks, right? Just asking ridiculous questions that have nothing to do with the damn job, and that's not what we're talking about. I've got a news story, but I've got a clip, so we're going to run through the news right quick, because this is great, y'all. Like, it's a shot across the bow, if you will, for Democrats and Republicans, all of you guys up there in the Senate who think y'all are better than everybody, who think y'all are untouchable, that you don't care about your state, you don't care about your constituents, you don't care about you're going to vote whatever way you want to vote. Well, guess what? You're being put on notice as of today. As of today, check this out, y'all. RFK Jr.'s billionaire, like they had to throw that in there, ex-running mate threatens senators who vote against his confirmation. Please choose wisely. That is right. So Nicole Shanahan has come out to be a superstar, very, very based. She's a Democrat, of course. And, we disagree on many, 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 many issues. Disagree largely on many things. But there are several things that we do agree on that I consider her very based. She is in touch with reality. She is in touch with logic. She knows what's going on. She can read the writing on the wall, read the room, and see, look, hey, these people, they're out for blood and for no good reason. Let's get into this right quick. Billionaire Nicole Shanahan is sending a stunning message to senators who feel skeptical about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. On Tuesday, January 28th, Kennedy's 2024 running mate posted a video message in which she promised that she will use her wealth to unseat lawmakers who vote against confirming him as the HHS secretary. That is right. In the video, Shanahan, 39, calls Kennedy, 71, proven, principled, and prepared to lead, before sharing that he needs every vote he can get as his Senate confirmation looks uncertain. This hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Democratic Senate leader Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue, she says in the video. The Silicon Valley attorney continues, "The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator Jon Ossoff, please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it personal. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children." After suggesting that there were strings attached with her support of the Georgia Democrats, Shanahan begins listing additional senators on both sides of the aisle who have not revealed how they plan to vote, including Republicans Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, and James Lankford. Democrats Cory Booker, John Fetterman, and Kathleen Cortez Masto, and independent Bernie Sanders. "This is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me," she adds in the video. "While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me." The message concludes, "You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours. Please choose wisely." Loving this. Get these people out of here. These people are so corrupt, right? I got the video clip. This is coming from Senator Elizabeth Warren. Oh, Pocahontas over here. But we're going to get into that in a second. I just want to run my mouth about this. Yes, these people absolutely need to be put on notice. They need to know. They need to be scared of voting against the interests of the American people. Voting against anything Donald Trump comes up with, right? Because, I mean, unless it goes against the Constitution, of course. But, you know, like these Senate confirmation hearings is what I'm basically getting at. Voting against these people. He has handpicked these people to cause change. These are disruptors. These are people that are going to come in and disrupt the establishment and boot out the corruption. They are going to clean up the government. This is how you drain the swamp, folks, right? Which is a disservice to swamps, if you will, because honestly, swamps get a bad name. I live in the swamps, right? Like not directly in the swamps, but literally 200 yards behind my house is a literal swamp, right? It's not very big. It's kind of swampy. It's basically a forest with water in it. That's got about 2 inches of water almost year round in the damn thing. So it's pretty much a swamp, right? These places, they're beautiful. It's just like sitting on a mountaintop, right? Like you go and you look around, everything's, you know, it's just forest all over the place, so it's beautiful. So this gives a bad name to swamps. I know that was a wild tangent there, but it's getting in it. Like Washington, D.C. is a trash heap, and Donald Trump is coming in handpicking people to clean this up. And you gotta love the narrative from the mainstream news. Oh, he's putting in nothing but loyalists. He's gonna be a dictator, y'all, blah, 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 blah. They just go on forever, and it's absurd. All of it's absurd, right? You know, RFK Jr., he's so passionate about the health of kids in this nation. You should watch some of his speeches if you haven't, right? It's insane, some of these talking points, right? But these people absolutely need to be put on notice. I talk about this all the damn time. These congressmen, these senators, they need to know that we are the ones in charge. You and I, me and you, the person watching this video, we are in charge. We put these people into places of power. And if they vote against our interests and claim to be voting for us, when it's actually against our interests, you need to be put on notice to know that you will not hold that seat come next election. We need to let these people know. Put it in their face. Write them a letter. Send them a message on X, whatever platform, whatever social media platform, right? Let these people know. You do not vote against the American people's interests. And RFK Jr. being the HHS secretary is what Donald Trump wants. And a lot of people in this country as well want RFK Jr. to be the HHS secretary, because we know he's going to go in there and he's going to clean up a lot of stuff. We've listened to all the talking points. Oh, he's anti-vax, and he's made some wild statements. Oh, he was a heroin addict 40 years ago, right? Nobody cares about any of this. People change. People make mistakes. The fact that he was a heroin addict, quit, and has been clean for 40 years says something about the man, because that's one of the hardest ones to come off of. Trust me, I know. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's one of the hard ones, right? Say it like this. I got about 20 years myself. So, these people, they just don't want disruptions to the establishment. And I think I know the reason why. But I'm going to go ahead and run that clip right quick, and then we'll discuss afterwards. Check this out, y'all.
Now, you just said that you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So, Mr. Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for 4 years afterwards?
Well, I'll certainly commit to that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something, because you're making me sound like a shill. I put together that case. I did the Science Day presentation to the judge on that case to get it into court.
Mr.
The Daubert
Kennedy,
hearing.
Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
Yeah,
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake out of that while you're a secretary and for 4 years after. It's just...
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
No. I'm asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not to do that?
You're asking me to not sue drug companies,
No,
and I'm
you
not
can
going to agree
sue
to that,
drug
Senator.
companies as much as you want.
I'm not going to agree to not sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a quick count here of how, as Secretary of HHS, if you get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead, something a jury might be impressed by. You could appoint
I
people
don't
to the
understand that.
CDC vaccine panel who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine from the vaccine schedule. You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which would open up manufacturers to mass torts. You could make more injuries eligible for compensation even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program. There's a lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits and pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS, and I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as Secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
You're asking me,
repeatedly,
Senator,
those
you're asking me not to sue
requirements are-
pharmaceutical
I am
companies.
not. My
Yeah, you
question
are.
is stop
That's exactly what you're doing.
health. Look, no one should be fooled here.
I
As
fought that
Secretary
from-
of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Okay, what a freaking scumbag. Now, some of that might sound reasonable. Oh, she doesn't want him to make money off that. All that nonsense that she was talking about. Oh, he can change this and change this and change that so he can make money by suing these pharmaceutical companies later. Nonsense. Because as soon as he comes out, anything that he changes can be just changed right back, right? This is nonsense. This is garbage coming from these people, right? Makes absolutely no sense. But you got to wonder, I wonder if there's an ulterior motive here. I wonder if there's an ulterior motive here. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, that's the people that donate. And you see what's highlighted right there, right? Yeah, that's... They put it, health services or whatever the hell they put. I'm not reading it right now. I'm just doing it based off of memory, so I don't know exactly what it says. So I read it a little while ago. But $2.36 something million was donated. And that's not a lifetime. That's not the 20 or 30, 20 something years that Elizabeth Warren has been in office. That's not lifetime. That's just the 2020 cycle. That's just one cycle. I wonder who's influencing her statement right there. I wonder who's made millions of, like, these people are just outright scumbags, right? He's agreeing that he's not going to make any money, but you're basically what she's doing right here is trying to take his work away from him. That's what he does. He's a lawyer, for crying out loud. He's got some of the biggest lawsuits in the country against pharmaceutical companies, right? He's sued HHS several times before, right? We saw that video. I've played it several times where he's talking about he's sued Dr. Fauci, sued HHS, sued the NIH and all these places because for one simple reason, and this is the exact reason why they call him anti-vax. Because he wanted to see the safety tests. He wanted transparency, for crying out loud. That's all he wanted. And he had to actually sue the government. You would think that a simple FOIA request could get that. because you don't have to sue the government in a FOIA request. You can request the information. They're probably not going to give it to you, so you're probably going to have to sue them. But there's a possibility there that you don't have to sue them. They just give you the information. They wouldn't give him the information, so he sues them. They still didn't give him the information, right? We've seen the clip. Right? So it come to find out, they openly admitted that they don't have the safety tests. They can't give him the documentation for the safety tests for the vaccines, which, by the way, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a scientist, I'm not any of these things. I'm not saying that vaccines are not safe. That's not what I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. I'm just giving you a little rendition of history here. Okay, so if you have any questions, call, speak, talk to a doctor. As a matter of fact, get a second opinion, if you will. However, getting back to that, getting that little caveat out of the way, right? So he sues. They come to find out they don't have the safety tests. Well, hang on. Do you really not have the safety tests? Are you trying to say, Dr. Fauci and HHS, that you didn't safety test these vaccines? Is that what you were trying to say? Or are you trying to hide something from the American people? That's all he wanted to know. And he gets relentlessly attacked for this. Right? I watched that entire confirmation hearing. They were bringing up statements, completely out of context statements. Right? It's ridiculous what these people do. These people do not care about the interests of the American people. They don't care about cleaning up Washington. These people, Senator Warren and all these senators, all they care about is lining their own pockets, buddying up to the big pharmaceutical companies and the big tech companies and blah, 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 while also at the same time yelling and screaming, gnashing their teeth, claiming they're advocating against these places. Oh, we're going to go after big pharma. It's like, no, you're not. These people, they are some of the richest people in the country. Senators, congressmen, these people, like, they make money hand over fist. They're all worth millions. You can go and look up their net worth from the time they started Congress or House of Representatives or the Senate, either one, from the time they started to the time they left or currently, and you can see their net value just shoot up. It's nuts to go look at some of this stuff, right? And their salary isn't all that much. They just now got a raise after like 20-something years, I believe, which, I mean, they needed a raise, but it was a 40% raise. Right, that's quite significant. From like 173,000, I believe it was, to 241,000, I believe is the new. That's insane. 241,000 a year. So how can these people be worth millions and millions, in some cases, like Nancy Pelosi, hundreds of millions of dollars? She's been in government almost her entire career. For 40 years, she's been in government, in Congress. How can you be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? That's nuts, y'all. These people don't care. So they're being put on notice by the American people that if you don't vote in our interests, my interests, and your interests, then you can get out. You're going to be primaried. We are going to challenge you. Yeah, the American people are waking up on a vast scale. We've still got a lot more people to wake up. And that's why I'm hoping like channels like this can spread out further, because I'm spreading the word. These people are being put on notice. We've got a lot of corruption to clean up, y'all. And Donald Trump cannot come in and save the country. He's trying. It looks like from all his actions, right? Like putting the freeze on all these grants and all this other garbage that the left is absolutely losing their freaking minds over, right? But if you go and read the executive order, he's only pausing the funding for people that don't comply with his other executive orders. Like if you comply with the executive orders, then you're good to go. Plus he's pausing the pause, if you will, or, reinstating like humanitarian aid and all that stuff, food, necessities, right? That's something that came up in that confirmation hearing as well. He's not pausing any programs that people rely on. But that doesn't stop the corporate press, the mainstream news, from telling you that that's what he's doing. Oh, he's hurting millions of people across the country. Now, he's putting it all under review, by the way. He's putting any unnecessary grants, any of that, wasteful spending, entitlement programs that he has the power to do, pausing it. Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, we need to review these things. We need to make sure that we're not sending $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza. Like what? We're not sending $20 million to Afghanistan for gender studies. We're not sending, what was it? 1.5 million, I think, to study how shrimp on a treadmill, like how they react. Like ridiculous stuff like this. Like, we're going to review this and see if it's actually necessary to secure this nation. Because we've got a spending problem in Washington, D.C. And look, y'all, I could rant on forever about this. I ain't lying. Some of the longtime viewers know I've made some pretty long rants about this nonsense. But I think I'm going to call it on this one, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. This blows my mind. These people are insane. They are just obstructing for the sake of obstructing. That's all they're doing here. They know RFK Jr. is going to come in and clean stuff up. He's going to clean up the mess, clean up the garbage, clean up the nonsense, get rid of some bureaucrats. As a matter of fact, that came up also. There I go, ranting again. Y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.